Hello everyone and welcome to our FA Cup semi-final special edition of the Everton Show. Now on this very programme last week, we described this week as being potentially one of the most memorable in our recent history, with two massive games in the space of 3 days. Well, the first one really couldn't have gone much more wrong, could it? But the second one could offer us an occasion to remember. And Snods, if you're going to bounce back, which we need to do, no better place than Wembley.
Yeah, massive disappointment the other night. It really was. And as you say, what a way to bounce back. Semi-final against Manchester United and the FA Cup, what is right next to us. So I'd love to see our captain or whoever's captain, if Jags is not fit, pick that up. But we've got a big game on Saturday. Man United just starting to hit a little bit of form as well, so it ain't going to be easy. But hopefully the boys can put that Wednesday behind them, bounce back and put in a performance for the 32,000 Evertonians that will be travelling down there.
They were really disappointed, the fans at Anfield, understandably so, but they'll be back on form for Wembley.
Yeah, they will. They'll give it their all. I'm sure the players will, but I'm sure the fans will. It is a massive disappointment to lose to Liverpool, but the fans will let them know that they're behind them on Saturday.
What a game to bounce back. We've got plenty of FA Cup content to come on this week's show as the Toffees prepare for Wembley.
All the boys are raring to go, but we know we've got to be focused and not look past it. We've got to look to the game and, as I say, enjoy it and play our football.
It's an amazing game. Enjoy the game, play good, play well, help my teammates. We need won this game.
But yeah, massive game and FA Cup semi-final. It's a huge game and hopefully a positive result for the Blues.
When you go into the semi-final, you need to be able to be feeling at ease and be very much cool-headed to perform as well as we can and be ourselves on the pitch.
It's going to be an amazing trip and one that I just feel all Evertonians need to embrace, because we're on the verge of something big here. We win this cup, it's massive.
Plenty of Wembley to come, but we'll start with the Merseyside derby. It was a disappointment, and after the game, Roberto Martinez gave his reaction to Everton TV.
Well, it's a horrible experience for everyone that it was involved. You don't expect the game to change so radically. 3 minutes before half-time, we got two actions that we don't defend properly, that we don't just switch off, and we allow a 2-goal lead to be so soft and in the manner that it happened. Up to that point is a completely different game. Then we regroup at half-time. We lose Gareth Barry through injury. We see that John Stones has got stomach cramps and is feeling ill, and the red card makes the rest of the game a really painful experience and a non-event from our point of view. So everything that it could have gone wrong, it went wrong, but it starts with our own wrongdoing of not being able to defend two actions that it should have been easily defended in our box.
Snods, without any shadow of a doubt, it was a bad day at the office, an appalling day at the office, but although we like to accentuate the positives, it'd be wrong just to brush over it, and as the gaffer said, we've got to defend better.
Yeah, and he's totally right. There weren't many positives to take from that performance. Probably Joel, keeper, could hold his hands up high, his head up high, and said that he tried his best to keep the score down, which he certainly did. So you don't like getting beat to your rivals, especially in the manner that we did as well. It is a big disappointment. It showed all the players, all the fans, getting beat to Liverpool. You can't put words into it like that. It really is difficult to take, but they owe the fans now on Saturday.
Any complaints about the red card, Snods?
At first, I thought he'd done it for booking and kicking the ball away, two yellers, until I saw the incident on a replay, and you can't have any qualms about that. He's gone over the top of the ball and he had to go.
And he misses Wembley, of course. Well, that defeat at Anfield came 4 days after a hard-earned 1-1 draw with Southampton at Goodison Park. To be honest, the game was largely uneventful, wasn't it? But for two academy graduates, it was an afternoon that they will quite simply never forget. Callum Connolly is 18 years old, Tom Davies just 17, but they can now both call themselves fully fledged Premier League footballers after making their senior professional debuts as second-half substitutes against the Saints.
I can't really describe it. It was my first debut, so I can't really put into words what it makes me feel, and I've done myself proud and my family proud.
I can imagine it wasn't easy to go into that game, but for you straight away, heading that corner clear, that must have helped.
Yeah, well, it's weird coming on in like the 70th minute, and I enjoyed it. But it was the result we were looking for. We were looking for a win, but didn't end up. Settle for the draw.
And for yourself, Tom, how did you find it?
It was a dream come true, really, to get on the pitch, and even if it was for a short amount of time, to actually get out there, play on Goodison in front of all our fans. It's what I've always wanted.
Callum said he was nervous. Was it the same for you?
Yeah. I was nervous, but once I got out there, made the first few passes, I was alright. Yeah. So.
What did the gaffer say to you both then before you went on?
He told me corner rolls and what he wanted me to do, and then he just said go and enjoy it, and I think that really settled me down. Yeah.
And for yourself, Callum?
Yeah, he just said go and enjoy yourself. Your first debut at Goodison, just said go out and enjoy yourself and make yourself proud.
And how have you found this week in general, stepping up to train with the first team regularly?
Yeah, well, we've all enjoyed it. There's a few lads that's been involved, not just me and Tom, so we've all been involved in the squad throughout the week, and it's just coming down to match day that the gaffer announced it.
And for yourself now, I guess the aim is to try and stay there and try and impress as much as you can?
Yeah, well, when you get one appearance, you want a lot of appearances, and hopefully we're looking to kick on for the rest of the season and get more minutes.
And Tom, the game itself, what did you think about it, the final outcome?
Well, I thought the team done well, but I think we deserved more than a point. But we've worked hard at the end and managed to get a point, which we know we could have done better. But with the changes that have been made, I think it was on the whole a good point, really.
Snods, as they said, it's a dream come true to make your senior debut in the Premier League at Goodison Park. Being asked to do post-match media is not a dream come true, but it's something they're going to have to get used to.
It is, hopefully, because there'll be Evertonians and playing quite regular. They couldn't take the smile off the face, could they, the pair of them? And
they did well, didn't they?
They did do well. And I remember making my debut at 16, playing for Doncaster. There were only 4,000 there. So, and I was so nervous. Imagine how they felt. Going out of Goodison, packed house, front of 36, 37,000. But they did really well. Callum got a great header in early doors when he came on. The crowd applauded that one. And then when Tom came on, what he did, he played it neat and tidy, just little balls, just to give him a confidence. And yeah, they didn't disgrace themselves at all, hopefully. They will play many games for us.
Kept it nice and simple, Tom, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's more than that. He is more than that, but debut, 17 coming on, that's what he's got to do.
We'll see plenty more of those two, that's for sure. Well, had Callum, Connolly and Tom Davies not appeared in the first team on Saturday, then they certainly would have lined up for the under-21s against Manchester City at Goodison Park on Monday night. The two youngsters may not have been present, but the Everton Show certainly was to see David Unsworth's players chalk up yet another fine success. It's Barclays under-21 Premier League action here at Goodison Park this evening. Manchester City are the visitors, and this is David Unsworth's lineup for Everton. Number 1 in goal, Matthias Hult. Number 2, Tony Hibbert. 3, Matthew Foles. 4, and captain Joe Williams. 5, Mason Holgate. 6, Morgan Feeney. 7, David Hennon. 8, Harry Charsley. 9, Callum Dyson. 10, Anthony Evans. And 11, Kieran Dow.
Tony Hibbert got 45 minutes under his belt, but it was teenager Kieran Dowell who was to the fore as the under-21s recorded their third successive win. Picking the ball up with his back to goal and under pressure from a defender, Dowell spun away from his marker and fired low into the net. The smattering of fans inside Goodison were almost treated to a collector's item shortly afterwards when Hibbert went close, the veteran fullback seeing an effort deflected away from goal. Everton remained on top though, and Dowell almost grabbed a second goal, only to see his volley from David Hennon's cross crash back against the woodwork. City did have their moments as they searched for an equaliser, but David Unsworth's men held firm. The Young Blues will be back in action at Goodison on Monday when they host Leicester.
Snods, Kieran Dowell is going to be the sort of player who doesn't do tap-ins.
No, he's scored some great goals so far this season. He was unfortunate with his injury, but we're now starting to see the best of Kieran, and it won't be long before he's stepping up and being like the other two lads, Callum and Tom, and getting his chance regularly in the first team, because his performances have been good, he's scoring goals, and he's got to keep doing that to impress the manager.
Was that really Tony Hibbert on the edge of the penalty area having a shot?
You even heard the crowd. They don't think there were much crowd in there that night, which is a bit disappointing, to be honest, but you could hear him still shouting "shoot" to Ibbo as he were advancing to the 18-yard box.
The under-21s are at Goodison again on Monday against Leicester City. Hopefully there'll be a few more people in there, because there's some good young players to watch.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope we get a result on Saturday and people come to the game on Monday to see our future crop.
Keep the feel-good factor going. And that's it for part one of this week's programme. We'll take a short break now, and when we return we'll bring you some under-18s action, some supporter excitement about Wembley, and we'll hear from the bomber, Tony Bellew. Welcome back to part two of this week's Everton Show. It's time now for some under-18s action. And after beating Fulham in the final of the Dallas Cup, Everton were handed a quick reunion with the Cottagers in the National Academy Premier League last weekend. Once again, it was the Blues who prevailed, but only after a 5-goal thriller.
Everton are still in the hunt for the under-18s league title after beating Fulham 3-2 on Saturday afternoon. Fulham were the first to strike when Marlon Fossey opened the scoring with a far post finish midway through the first half. Despite the early setback, Everton heads didn't drop, and moments after coming onto the field as a substitute, Shane Lavery levelled with a skillful chip. The Irish striker grabbed his second goal of the game 10 minutes into the second half, when he converted after good work down the left flank from Spencer Myers. It looked like the contest would end all square when Ryan Sessegnon equalised against the run of play for Fulham with just over 20 minutes remaining. But with virtually the last kick of the game, fullback James Yates fired in what proved to be the winner for Everton. The victory means the Young Blues enter the last two matches of the season still with a chance of securing top spot, although they must win their remaining games and hope leaders Manchester City falter.
It doesn't matter what age group it is. If you're in a royal blue jersey and you score a last-minute winner, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Great. It was great to see them all running to the bottom corner, centre halves piling in, all diving on one another. Last-minute winner, you can't beat that in any game, and especially the Evertonians. They loved that, the boys, didn't they?
It was a terrific day for the academy last Saturday. Not only did Callum and Tom make their first team debut, but Leon Osman, we mustn't forget, 350th Premier League appearance for an academy graduate. That's terrific.
Yeah, it means everything to get, and it means a lot to the fans. You could tell every pass that the young boys were doing, they were appreciated. The fans were clapping them everything they did, and even Tom knocked a ball out of play, which he tried, a long distance ball. It went out of play, and the crowd clapped. So they'd love to see young boys coming through that are Liverpool based, obviously. But I think the other lads now will look at it and think, them boys have had the opportunities, they've had the chances. That's a way for me to progress as well. I've got to go step up into the under-21s, and then I'll probably get my chance, hopefully, of emulating what the two boys did on last week.
And they've only got to look at Ozzy, haven't they, for inspiration?
Oh, Ozzy's like, he's been around for 30 years, Ozzy, it seems so. But no, it's great, 350 appearances. He's a great lad, and that should inspire him to look at him, great pro, and think, I want to be like Ozzy.
When you're a young player, you said yourself, they were nervous before the game, but people often say when you're a young player, you're fearless when you're out there. When's the crossover?
Yeah, it is a difficult one because you are. I remember I was substitute the time like the two boys, and at first I'm thinking, I don't even want to get on. And then when the manager tells you to get warmed up, then the nerves are kicking in. And then when he actually says, go on you go, you get on there and you have that first touch and you think, I belong here. And I'm sure the two boys did once they played. I bet they thought, yeah, I want a bit more of this.
I'm just trying to imagine Ian Snowden as a 16-year-old. Right, let's turn our focus now to the FA Cup semi-final. Everton go to Wembley on Saturday to take on Manchester United for a place in the final, and thousands of Evertonians will be making the journey down south to English football's HQ. We spoke to just a few of those who will be desperate for the Blues to be making the very same trip again in May.
I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait to get there. Hopefully another result like 2009. Nice little win. Let's hopefully get to the final.
can't put it into words how excited I am and how incredible the atmosphere is going to be, because just as you said, 2009, incredible atmosphere, and it will be again in the semi-finals.
We haven't conceded a goal in this cup, unlike in '66 when we beat them in '66 in the semi then as well. So yeah, let's hope so.
Fantastic, you know, and I don't like Wembley being the semi-final venue, but as soon as I get there, I'm really glad I'm there. It is a fantastic setup, so yeah, can't wait for that.
I think we'll do them 2-1.
I think the match will be 2-1 for Everton.
I reckon it'll all come down to whether De Gea is on top form or not, because he seems to have got them to where they are this season, and I think probably Stones is going to have to watch out for Rashford, make sure he puts him out of the game.
The way we've been playing in the cup, we've been playing as a team, so as long as that's what they need to do, no selfish players playing together, and they can do it. Get the crowd behind them. As long as the crowd are behind them like they have been in the cup run, then they can do it. They're unstoppable then.
You know, to get some silverware for this long wait we've been going on, since 1995, it'd be brilliant to, you know, but have to get over that hurdle first, so I mean, they should be well up for that match. You know, so I'm hoping they'll do it.
If it was anything like it was the last time, we shut the place down, so hopefully it'll be like that again. Everyone will come back with, won't be able to speak, won't be able to talk, all the voices lost. We'll see what happens.
Snods, I know you're going down with your lads, massive Evertonians like yourself, looking forward to it?
Yeah, apprehensive, nervous. It's Wembley, and I'm one of the fans says that he's a big believer that the final should be at Wembley, and I'm exactly the same. But when you get down there, you think, thank God, semi-finals at Wembley. But I remember in 2009, I couldn't go. The boys went, my lads, and they said it was the best atmosphere after the game and during the game that they'd been involved in. Obviously, we got beat in the final, but let's hope we can emulate that. And one of the fans said as well about De Gea. He's played really well against us in the last couple of games. He's saved some great shots. Let's hope he has an off day.
It's due one, isn't it?
He is due one, but I just want our players to go out there, be hungry, be brave, and go and show Man United that you're better than them. You can go on and win this trophy, and need some big players on Saturday, and hopefully we'll have them.
The Everton team that played against Chelsea in the quarter-final could beat Manchester United in the semi-final.
Without a shadow of a doubt. But them players have got to realise that. The league performances have not been great of late, but the cup game against Chelsea was fantastic. And them boys who get selected have got to go out there and prove that they're worthy of the selection. They've got a great backing that will make all kinds of unbelievable noise on that day. I'm nervous now. I'm up for it now. I wish I could roll the clock.
It's terrific as well, isn't it, when half of Wembley's blue and the other half's red. It does make for the atmosphere.
It certainly does, and I'm sure Man United will be thinking a little bit of form. They'll be thinking, yeah, we can turn Everton over. We can get to the final and go and win it. So two teams believe that it's their year. They can win the cup. But I know one thing: we'll out-sing Man United. That's the absolute certainty. And when the boys hear that, hopefully they'll put it into good use and go on and win the game.
The players surely will use the Merseyside derby defeat as some sort of motivation and say, look, we owe the spectators here.
Yeah, we're better than that. They know they're better than that. They will be disappointed, but I'm telling you what, come Saturday, Daz, the boys will be up to it. The fans certainly will.
We can't wait. Neither can Tony Bellew, by the way, because he's got every intention of being amongst the 30,000 Evertonians at Wembley on Saturday. And not even the fact that he's deep into his training camp for a world title fight will stop the Bomber from taking his place amongst his fellow Blues.
A lot of pressure on the boys, but listen, they're all amazing athletes, strong individuals, and I'm sure they'll come through. It'll be a successful week, but you know, listen, I'm nervous already with regards to Wembley. It's going to be an amazing trip, and one that I just feel all Evertonians need to embrace, because we're on the verge of something big here. We win this cup, it's massive, and then you know we've got to kick that on in our league form as well. So listen, this is the best Everton squad we've had since the 80s. I'm confident when I say that. Ultimately, we don't just want to get that same, we want to win it. We're Scousers, we're Evertonians, and we love this club and we want to just see us do well.
And where does an FA Cup semi-final fit in with your training schedule?
I will find a way. The coach won't be happy, and he's not happy, but I will find a way. To be honest, I drove to London last week to the O2 Arena. Anthony Joshua become world champion, but mainly me gym mate was on it, Jamie McDonnell, defending his world title. And the only reason, I'll be totally honest, the main reason that I went was so I could get a pass to go to the semi-final. So if the truth be known, it's out there now. My coach knew the score, and you know, it is what it is, mate. When it's Everton Football Club, I don't care if it's the day before the fight, I'm going. The only time I'm not allowed to go is when we're playing on the day of a fight. What they do is they just lock me in a room in the hotel. I usually sneak out of the hotel and go to a pub somewhere and try and find it that way, but you know, the cup semi-final, no one's keeping me from that.
Bombers like you, Snods, it can't come quickly enough for him.
He is, he really is, and that's what the players have got to show, that kind of spirit. Passion, brave, determined, and they will, come the kick-off time, Saturday evening-ish, tea time-ish, the boys will be up for that, they really will, but yeah, Bomber's one of us, isn't he? He really is, he loves his football, he loves Everton Football Club, and he's passionate about them as well, and I hope he's cheering in that stand on Saturday.
It must be great, mustn't it, to be somebody like Tony Bellew? You can more or less shout what you want at the game because no one's going to have a go at you, are they?
No, and I just hope he don't get injured when we're celebrating at the end of the game. If we won the game, he's jumping all over, people are jumping on him. Let's not hope he gets injured because he has got a big fight coming up soon. But no, he sounds really excited and up for this.
It looks likely that the fight will go ahead at Goodison Park, just waiting for various bits of paperwork to be completed, and that'll be some spectacle.
That'd be great. It'll be great for him. It'll be great for Everton as a football club holding a boxing match. But for him, being a big Evertonian that he is, he comes out decked in all the Everton blue as well, out to Z cars. So imagine walking out at Goodison to Z cars, going to fight for a world title. Don't come any better than that for Tony.
He's been a great ambassador for the sport. He's been a great ambassador for Everton. We'd love him to get a world title, wouldn't we?
Yeah, and he's desperate too. And he's not him being bravado and being big-headed. He wants to do it for his kids. So they can say, my dad's world champion. And that's fantastic, that. He's a down-to-earth kid, he really is. And all the lads at Finch Farm get on with him, all the ex-players do. He's just a passionate Evertonian, passionate Scouser that wants to do well in life and do well for his family. And let's hope he can go ahead and do that.
I remember when he did have a fight at the Echo Arena. Everton had the game in the afternoon, and he did actually sneak down the fire escape of the hotel, went into a pub on the corner to watch the football on the television, and he was fighting 4 hours later.
Is that right? I didn't know that one, but
it's genuine passion, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it works both ways because the boys like to go and watch him as well. They realise how hard working an individual he is, and he's an Evertonian, so they give him the support as well.
We'll see Bomber down at Wembley. Well, we're going to take another breather right now, and in part 3 our big interview is with our former striker James Beattie. Beattie was at Goodison Park for the game against Southampton last Saturday, and while he was there he joined the Everton Show for an FA Cup semi-final conversation. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back to part 3 of this week's show. Now, back in 2003, James Beattie won an FA Cup semi-final with Southampton, so he knows what it takes to be successful in the penultimate stage of the world's oldest and still the greatest cup competition of them all. James was once Everton's record signing. He still holds the club in highest regard, and he's very much looking forward to Saturday's game at Wembley.
No, it's one of the biggest rivalries, isn't it, in English football. I remember when I was playing here, it was always obviously the Liverpool game, but then the next biggest one was the Man United. The rivalry's very fierce. Remember certain incidents happening at Lime Street, waiting for all the fans to arrive. But yeah, massive game and FA Cup semi-final. It's a huge game and hopefully a positive result for the Blues.
What have you made of Manchester United this year, Beats?
They've had a strange season, haven't they? They've spent a hell of a lot of money, and Louis van Gaal's sort of come back from the dead, hasn't he? Really, because every newspaper article that you read, he was finished. But he stayed there. He's been very, stubborn in his approach with the press and what have you, and he's still there. So, the powers that be have kept him there. As I said, they've spent a hell of a lot of money, brought players in, and I think they've shown flashes of what the Man United fans have said they've been missing from years gone by. Brought a lot of youth in, and they've started to blood a few of the younger players who've come in and done extremely well. So I think they've showed signs of what the fans want, but on the whole, I think for them it's been quite a disappointing season as well. So maybe for them a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel.
Marcus Rashford has appeared on the scene from absolutely nowhere. You know what it's like to be a young striker in the Premier League. The boy's done well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think we see it with a lot of these younger players. They come into the side and they just play with no fear. We've seen it with a few of the older players, like Beattie and what have you this season. But they come in and they just play as if they're playing in the park with the mates, which is great to see. And as a manager, that's what you want. You want them to just play with no fear, because it's one of the biggest debilitating things for a player is to play with fear. And as we all know, it doesn't exist. So it's only what you create inside your own head. And it's great to see these young lads. I think now players are being encouraged to be aggressive 1v1, whereas in the past I think the emphasis has been on keeping the ball. But if a young player's particularly good at 1v1s and getting past people, then I don't believe that should be taken out of him. We see it with Ross a little bit, he's so good, he's so powerful and strong, and you take that out of his game and he wouldn't be half the player. So I think we need to keep encouraging these young players who are good in them situations to be aggressive and to take people on, and if it is pushing the ball past them and running past them, then so be it.
People tend to forget that Romelu Lukaku is still only 22 years of age as well, so there's so much more to come from that boy.
Yeah, he's been massively impressive. I've really enjoyed watching him this season. I was down at Bournemouth, as you know, for the FA Cup tie, and he's just a pure athlete, isn't he? And as you say, with his age, he plays a very mature game as well, and of course his goals help massively, but his movement's excellent, he's strong, he's quick, and he's probably what every football team's looking for at the moment, is a centre forward like that gets goals. So like you say, if he keeps developing and keeps his head down, keeps working hard, then I'm sure there's a hell of a lot more to come from him.
People always say, although you're in the semi-final and the draw's been made, you've got to focus on the Premier League games between the draw and the actual game. You've played in an FA Cup semi-final and won it. Is it easy or difficult to not get it in your mind ahead of Premier League games?
I think the thing with it is the games that run up to the week preceding the game, they're okay. It's the week running up to it is such an event. Like the whole city will get involved in the build up. The players will be doing special appearances. We got fitted out for our suits with Ted Baker, and I suppose Everton have been in it quite recently, so it's not something you can get used to, but it was a massive thing for us because we hadn't been in there for such a long time. And as I say, the whole town got involved. There was flags out in the city, and we actually played in yellow, so the whole city was turned yellow, and we went there, and unfortunately we lost. But it's I suppose you've just got to be professional, and as we know, these guys are, and they'll be concentrating on trying to get the highest league position that they can, and then when the game comes around, then embrace the week and enjoy it, and then hopefully get the positive result that they deserve.
You know this football club, Beats. You know a lot of the lads. You certainly know the fans. It means so much to win this semi-final and go back in May and then finish the job off.
Yeah, I suppose they've been wanting that success for a while, and the fans are so passionate. Even, well, as I say, for the league games, but the FA Cup against Man United adds that little bit of extra spice to the tie. But they'll go down and sell out. I'm sure they'll sell out within minutes or hours or whatever. And they'll follow the team like they always do. And as I've told you before, there's nowhere on the planet that's safe from an Evertonian, because I've been on holiday on my honeymoon and I've had my name shouted. So it's a great club. I really enjoy coming back here, and hopefully they can get a really positive result in the semi-final, and then, as you say, go on and finish the job and bring the cup home.
Beats is like virtually every other former Everton player. He still loves the club.
Yeah, he does. You can tell that as well, and he's right. He does make you laugh, because anywhere you go around the world, There's always an Evertonian there somewhere. We were in Singapore, I've been to Australia, and there's always an Evertonian there. They get everywhere, so they'll be down in their numbers on Saturday. But he's right as well. It means so much to him. It really does. The FA Cup always has to Everton. Meant a hell of a lot. And I knew that when I first arrived at the club. I thought, they love the FA Cup, these boys. So I think Saturday's going to be a special, special occasion.
How important are the first 10 or 15 minutes?
Very. Very. We've got us. I'm saying very. I thought we started first 15 minutes in the derby on Wednesday very well. I really did, and then it just went downhill from there. But yeah, it is, because you want your fans to get on top as well. And if you have a few chances, get a few tackles in, create a few corners, then the crowd are up for it from minute one, and then you get the upper hand. So hopefully we can come out of the traps quickly. We can get after Man United, who are now starting to play with a little bit more confidence. As I said, they've got one or two players in there, like the young boy Rashford. I think his movement's good. He's got a bit of pace. Lingard, he's quite lively as well. So they've got a blend of experienced players like Carrick and Mata. They've got some good youngsters. They are getting better, but it's all about us. I'm not worried about Man United. It's all about how we play. And if we play to our maximum, we can beat Man United.
It's all about having your periods of dominance, but taking your chances when you are on top, isn't it?
Yeah, if we get one or two chances in that first 10, 15 minutes, we've got to take at least one of them. And I'm not talking about Romelu Lukaku as well. I'm talking about other players from around the pitch. If we get a set play, can we put us head? Can we be brave, get on the end of it? Can Ross Barkley advance and score a screamer? First 10, 15, 20 minutes, all important.
We'll take a goal off absolutely anyone, believe me. Well, we couldn't preview a big FA Cup game without hearing from one of our heroes of 1995. Andy Hinchcliffe was one of those men who brought the FA Cup back to Goodison, and he admits it remains his best moment in football.
Amazing memories, absolutely extraordinary. Not just the final itself, because that was a bit of a blur, and you really want to just get there and win the game. And I don't remember too much of the final itself. Didn't have a great game myself, had an injury problem as well. But I think the whole FA Cup run that season, we only conceded one goal to Jurgen Klinsmann from the penalty spot. So we deserved to win the FA Cup that season. And it was off the back of working very hard in the league as well to save ourselves. And Joe Royle, Willie Donachie did an extraordinary job when they came to the club, the kind of personalities they got in here and the collective that they'd actually built. The players got on incredibly well. We worked incredibly hard and we were the dogs of war. So it was a fantastic time. I really enjoyed it. Probably arguably my favourite time really in football. Playing for England was one thing, that was wonderful. But I think from a club perspective, winning the FA Cup for the Everton fans who really did deserve it, that was fantastic.
And Wembley's an occasion for the big players and hopefully Rom's on song.
Well, that's what it's all about. I think actually you say that, but I remember when we were successful in '95. Yes, we had big players like Duncan Ferguson who could do things and win games for us. But it is about the teams, about the collective as well. I think we've seen that in the Premier League this season. Look at teams like Leicester and Tottenham, very strong collectively, great individual players, but it's the collective that gets you where you want to be. And I think if you're going to win semi-finals, you're going to win finals. The team needs to play well from back to front, but of course your star men, your Lukaku's and Barkley, need to step up to the plate.
As Andy Hinchcliffe just alluded to there, Snods, back in 1995, by some distance, we were not the best team in the Premier League, but we won the FA Cup.
Yeah, they had some characters that were winners. Joe Parkey, Barry Owen, Dave Watson, all winners. They had some good players like Andy Hinchcliffe, and they had some average players like Graham Stewart, if you know what I mean. But it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear other players, other ex-people players talking about that cup fan rather than Diamond, to be honest. So no, but Diamond says to me, and I was in and around that team. I'd just left in January when they won it in May, so I knew that they got the capabilities. I knew that they were hard to beat, and it was a fantastic time I went down as a fan. I sat behind the goal, and when Rideout put the goal in, there were nobody jumping about as much as me, and I'd already been transferred to Oldham. So I've been there as a fan, and I'm going down as a fan again, but an ambassador, but a fan first and foremost. And there'll be nobody jumping as high as me if Big Rom, Ross, Deulofeu, anybody scores that winning goal. And then hopefully final. Let's get there. It's not all about winning the semi. We can do that. We've got to go on and win this trophy, that's.
You mentioned Marcus Rashford before, the boy who's come from absolutely nowhere, and he does seem one of those young players who is playing without fear.
He does. I like his movement. He's got good movement. He looks along the line. He's got pace, and he's playing with some really good, experienced players as well. Not at the best of times, because the Man United crowd have been getting onto the manager, been getting onto the players. But he's come in and he's given that little breath of fresh air, inventiveness, and you're right. He's no fear, and he'll put defenders under pressure.
You and Martial are both speed merchants, aren't they? Well, the countdown to Wembley is well and truly on, isn't it? And we'll have some more previews for you in part 4. We'll be looking ahead to our 26th FA Cup semi-final through the eyes of John Stones, Gerard Deulofeu and Roberto Martinez. Welcome back to the 4th and final segment of this week's show. Now, John Stones has played at Wembley before with England, and that experience will doubtless be vital on Saturday. The Blues defender always enjoys playing at the National Stadium, but he admitted that it will be that little bit more special to do so in the Royal Blue of Everton.
Playing in a semi at Wembley for your club is a massive achievement to the lads and ourselves, but you know it ranks quite highly in personally for me as well. With England, I've played there and important games and stuff like that. But when there's a lot of silverware on the line, and to get to progress to the next stage, it's it's a big occasion for everyone.
Is Wembley one of the fairy tales that you dream of when you were a young player?
Yeah, definitely. Always wanted to be there and play there, and especially take everything in, the atmosphere, and been lucky enough to do it a lot of times with England and with some top players. So to go there with your club will be, extra special, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it with the lads.
Will the fact that you've been there and played big games there before, will that help you in terms of preparation and being mentally ready?
I'd hope so, yeah. Knowing the environment, and it won't be a new ground that I've never been to before. I suppose it's all kind of homely, England's home, and being there and played, as I said, and it'd be new emotions and new feelings, but it'd be a great occasion, and I'm just looking forward to it now.
And there will be players in the squad who haven't been to Wembley before, so you'll be able to say to them, tell them what to expect and that sort of thing. Yeah, definitely, and that's why I think we're so much as a team, and we do things together. And for the boys that haven't been there before, I'm sure it'll be such a great experience for them. And I'll try and the boys that have been there before will all try and help them get through it and enjoy it as much as possible. I think everyone needs to go there and not put too much pressure on ourselves, and play our football and enjoy the day, enjoy the occasion. Our FA Cup run so far this year, has that shown the best of us, do you think? Is that a fair way of explaining it?
I think so, yeah. We've turned up in big games, and on Saturday there's another big game to turn up in, and I'm all the boys are raring to go, but we know we've got to be focused and not look past it. We've got to look to the game and, as I say, enjoy it and play our football. And as you just said, we've turned up in the FA Cup, and hopefully we can progress to the next level.
Snods, Stonesy came off with stomach cramps at Anfield. The early indications are that at least he will travel. He'll be given every opportunity, and we need to wrap him in cotton wool. No Funes Mori, no Jagielka.
Yeah, difficult times for as centre-backs as a team. We do need John. He had started to come and get back to the form that he's been playing with. So he's a must, really. We need him. And he's right. The biggest accolade you can have, personally and individually, is to play for your country. But your bread and butter, you're playing with your teammates every day, you're working with your teammates every day, they are your family. You want to achieve something with them boys as well, collectively. So for me, John, he must play, he's got to play.
Get the cotton wool out and wrap the boy up. Well, Gerard Deulofeu has been getting some game time in the first team recently after a season that could probably best described as frustrating. His partnership with Romelu Lukaku, though, has been fruitful at times, and the young Spaniard would relish the opportunity to show it again against Manchester United at Wembley.
I never goes to Wembley, and now is my first time. At the weekend we have a big chance for Everton. We have a semi-final against United, and we need to take this chance because the season was bad in the Premier, and we have a chance in the Cup, and it's an amazing game. Enjoy the game, play good, play well, help my teammates. we need won this game.
We've done well in the competition so far. No goals conceded. We got to the semi-final of the Capital One Cup. Is the team ready now to go at least one step further and get to the final?
Always ready, because in the FA Cup we have this feeling maybe different, because the results in the Premier now is the same like FA. We defeat Chelsea and we go to Wembley for a win and goes to the final.
What would it mean to you to win the FA Cup in your first season as a permanent player at Everton?
I think if we win the FA Cup, maybe it's not the best in the Premier, but if you won one title, it's a good season, because we stay with training, we work all the days for winning titles and for step by step, you know. And if we win this title for the fans, it's an amazing dessert for him, and we try and we put all the energy for the fans.
FA Cup semi-finals can often throw up unlikely winners. Phil Jagielka in 2009, albeit from the spot. Daniel Amokachi in 1995. Can Jerry be the one?
He certainly can, there's no question about it. He's got the ability to. He'll be hoping he gets a start, whereas Amokachi came off the subs bench at Ellen Road in '95 and changed the game. Then I'm sure Jerry will be hoping to start, but if he comes on as a sub as well, he's hoping to have an impact. But he's certainly got the ability to worry Man United, to create things and score a goal. So hopefully he'll be thinking, well, this is my opportunity. Everybody in the world's watching semi-finals, my opportunity to show myself justice and produce.
And he should love the big wide pitch at Wembley, shouldn't he? Right, let's leave the last word on this FA Cup semi-final special with the manager. Roberto Martinez has, of course, already won the FA Cup. His Wigan Athletic side pulled off one of the all-time final shocks in 2013, and he's desperate to win it again, even though he knows that the hurdle offered by Manchester United will be a tough one to clear.
It's difficult to give the formula. I think what is the best possible way is giving it a bit of a common sense and try to see the game that's behind the footballing occasion. It is special to see your fans away from our Goodison Park, making the stadium feeling like home. And I think it's that experience that we developed in Europe last season, going around in different countries. We developed that sense of big footballing occasions, that we could be ourselves and we could concentrate on the game. And it's clearly, when you go into the semi-final, you need to be able to be feeling at ease and be very, very much cool-headed to perform as well as we can and be ourselves on the pitch. We're facing a really strong team. We faced them twice already this season. We know what they are, but clearly whoever adapts to the occasion has a real good advantage in the start of the game.
It's another away game, an away game for both sides, but as you said before, the away form for Everton has been impressive this season. It's the same mentality, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah, but I think sometimes you get in moments during the game that is a knockout game. It means that you could achieve the next stage, which is the final, or just your journey in the cup could finish there, and that brings a different approach in any other league game. Probably that's something that you have to experience before in order to cope. But I just feel that our experiences in Europe have really helped us in order to know how to cope with that sort of level of different game when you play in a cup competition.
Snods, the talking is all but done. Time to do or die. Where will it be won and lost?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, no question about it, but they've just got to roll the sleeves up, come kick-off time, right to the end, whether it goes to extra time or penalties, let's hope not. But they've just got to roll the sleeves up. They've got to run that extra yard further than Man United. They've got to get an extra tackle in more than Man United. They've got to have more shots, and everybody's got to be together collectively. The boys have got to say, come on, this is our day. Let's go out there and let's show the Evertonians, and let's show everybody else around the country that we're going to win this trophy this year. And I'm excited for it. I really am. And
players are good enough to do that.
They are good enough. There's no question
good
about
enough.
it. We've seen against Chelsea, and we keep harping on about Chelsea, but that is the performance we need on Saturday, come tea time, to get us through to the final.
Looking forward to the commentary.
Can't wait, mate. Really can't wait. I'm right up for this.
We could be singing again, couldn't we?
Oh, I hope so. I hope I'm singing all the way back to Merseyside.
We're looking forward to it. And that's just about it for this week's Everton Show. The preparation hasn't been perfect, but the passion and the enthusiasm that the Evertonians have for the Football Association Challenge Cup will surely count for something on Saturday. Half of Wembley Stadium will be royal blue and half will be red. It'll be a magnificent setting. It could turn out to be a most memorable afternoon. Why not mute the TV commentary and listen to me and Snods on evertonfc.com. By the way, this Saturday it'll be 50 years to the day since Colin Harvey scored an FA Cup semi-final winner for Everton against Manchester United. That was at Bolton Wanderers Burnden Park. Let's all hope that Wembley on the 23rd of April 2016 will give us another memory that will last a lifetime. We shall see.